Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about the gospel artist Ringtone Apoko, who is making headlines, but this time around it's not because of insulting or bullying fellow artists. So if you're not aware, on the 21st of July, he got arrested alongside 5 other individuals. Then on 25th of July, they got charged with assaulting the foreigners. But afterwards, he managed to post bail. And immediately after posting bail, he looked for bloggers to try and clear his name. So I'm going to play a small snippet of his sob story. And then afterwards, I'll come back with my commentary.
Nimefanyiwa madhambi. So, sikutaka kuongea kwa sababu naona kuna mtu mwenye ambaye anaweza nielewa. Naona watu wamekireti perception kwamba mimi ni mgaidi, na nyumba nimekuwa nikiishi, nguo zangu ziko hapo, viti zangu ziko vitanda, nalala mahali naishi, na post videos ukiangalia kwa social media zangu, ni mahali nimekuwa nikiishi. Lakini kwa sababu ya ugaidi watu wamenifanyia madhambi yote. Mimi hakuna kitu naweza fanya. Mimi sikuona baba yangu. Mimi ni yatima. Mimi ni kijana ambaye nimejilea, nimefika hapa bila kuona baba yangu. Lakini sijui kama hii nchi iko na sheria. Kama hii nchi iko na sheria, sijui nani ataona kilio changu na aweze kuingilia hii maneno, kwa sababu nimedhulumiwa Kenya. Hata ikakuwa mimi ni mpangaji. Mpangaji si ako na sheria venye natoa mtu kwa nyumba. Sheria si inasema venye unaweza toa mtu kwa nyumba kama anapanga, tuseme ni mpangaji wa nyumba. Basi mimi, kwani mimi ni mhalifu? Nimefanya nini? Ni sawa. Mungu anisaidie wale wa Kenya, mafans, wale watu ambao wananipenda ama wale wangejali kunisikiliza kama binadamu, kama mtu. Nawaambia mniombe. Na kama kuna vile unaweza nisaidia, unisaidie. Lakini nimetolewa kwa nyumba Karen, mahali nimekuwa nikiishi zaidi ya miaka 10. Nimekuwa nikikaa kwa hiyo nyumba zaidi ya miaka 10. Nimeshtakiwa, nimevunja mali yangu. Eti nimefanya malicious damage ya mali yangu, nimenunua na pesa yangu. Sijioni kama Mkenya.
Okay, maybe to ask chairman, after this story ilitokea kwa mtandao, there were rumors that it is associated with you and land grabbing, and you are aware that this is not the first time kusikia Ringtone akiambiwa kuwa ni mtu ambaye ana grab lands za watu wengine. Pengine, what can you say about that?
Watu wanapenda kuonea watu. Hii nchi iko na maaskari, hii nchi iko na CID, hii nchi iko na court. Hakuna mtu ameenda amesema nimechukua kitu yake. Si ni watu wako tu na wivu, wanasikia, wanajiuliza wewe ni yatima, umetoka, baba yako ni nani? Yani watu wanaona kama baba yako hauna baba mwenye anajulikana ufai kuwa na kitu. Mtu anafaa kujiuliza umefikaje hapo. Mtu akuja akuulize, because nikitaka kukuambia nimepata kitu fulani namna gani, unless ukuje nikwambie, si lazima nitangaze in public, niambie kila mtu nimefanya ama nikapata pesa fulani. Lakini vitu zote ambazo niko nazo kwa maisha yangu nimezipata halali, nimezipata kupitia sheria, nimezipata kupitia jasho yangu, nimezipata kupitia maombi, nimezipata kutoka baraka za Mungu. Mimi siwezi iba kitu ya mtu. Mimi najua mimi naogopa Mungu. Siwezi iba kitu ya mtu. Mtu atokea aseme nimeiba kitu yake, atokee.
Kwa hivyo hakuna shamba yoyote ushawahi kuiba. Na hizi rumors kutoka wapi?
Rumors zinatoka watu ambao wanakuchukia, wanataka tu kusema maneno. Alafu hii town ya Kenya, nimekuambia watu wakitaka kukupangia wanakupangia. Wanakupangia, hata unaweza wekewa madawa, unaweza wekewa mabunduki, ukipangiwa umepangiwa. Sasa nimetoka ndani nikajiuliza ninyamaze ama nisinyamaze, kwa sababu nisipoongea watu wanafikiri ni ukweli Ringtone alivamia kwa wenyewe. But ukweli ni kwamba Ringtone amevamiwa kwake. Kwangu mahali nimeishi more than 10 years. Nimevamiwa kwangu, lakini sasa mko hapa mnaniuliza.
So for those who don't understand Swahili, I will translate what he's talking about. So he's protesting his innocence. He's claiming he got evicted from that current property illegally, where he has been residing for the last 10 years. And then he said, obviously, he's not a criminal because he fears God and he's an orphan. I don't know why he had to bring that up. He also stressed about the fact that he's a Kenyan citizen. And I think he brought that up because the people he's going toe-to-toe against with happen to be South Sudanese citizens. So I think that was a tactic of trying to drum up sympathy from his fellow Kenyans. So then he was asked by one of the bloggers why his name keeps being associated with the property grabbing scandals. And he said those rumors are conjured up by guys who are jealous of his achievements. He says he's managed to acquire wealth by hard work and God's blessings. And he said, obviously, he's not a criminal. So afterwards, I think another blogger asked him whether he went back to Karen, where he was evicted from. And he said he didn't want to go back there because the owners were threatening to kill him. So he's decided to keep off. And then he was urging for his funds to come to his aid. So I don't know what aid he's after. I don't know whether he wants people to come up with a property or to start a GoFundMe so he can be able to pay rent. Anyway, we leave that aside. So this issue, just like one blogger asked about his name being connected with the land grabbing scandals, it reminds me of a program he did on K24 TV station. It was on a program called Up Close with Betty Kialo. So on that program, I remember it was 4 years ago, he showcased his property in Runda. And I remember he said that's where he's residing. So if he's now claiming that he's been living in that current property for the last 10 years, how is it that 4 years ago, he showed us another property where he was supposedly residing in Runda? So you see the red flags are beginning to emerge. And then I've also remembered there's this political activist called Boniface Mwangi. He exposed Ringtone in 2021 as a spanner boy for some land grabbing cartel in Nairobi. And the cartel involves unscrupulous public servants. And they mainly target old people and foreigners with properties in Karen and Runda, which happen to be very, very upmarket neighborhoods. So if you want to know the details of that article, I'm going to link it at the bottom so you can get to know more about how these unscrupulous individuals operate. And then another thing I want to bring up is if you happen to be a property owner or you intend to purchase property and leave it in the care of individuals like caretakers, you need to ensure you thoroughly vet those guys. And I think the best thing would be to draft a legal agreement between you and the caretakers. And consider hiring professional caretakers like property managers, who you can enter into a contract with. I don't think it's advisable to just have an oral agreement with someone like a security guard and hope that he's going to be loyal to you. Because if you listen to the interview that one of those property owners from where Ringtone was evicted in Karen, the guys were residing outside Kenya for many years, and it seems like they were not conducting frequent checks on their property. So the guy actually showed a title deed to prove ownership of that current property. And he also said Ringtone had partitioned the property and sublet some of the spaces on Airbnb. He also claimed the furniture that was there was missing. So it seems like Ringtone sold the property. It seems like the guys had furnished the house with expensive things, but they were missing when they reclaimed their property. So then you should also consider having property insurance so that in case you have damage or in case your furniture is stolen, like in this case, you'll be able to refurnish your house and conduct repairs without having to come up with a lump sum figure from your pockets. And then the other thing, it's vital to involve authorities when you notice there's foul play. And that's something that these current property owners actually did, because when they tried to evict Ringtone, he shamelessly called goons to come and fight these property owners. But the property owners involved the police. So the police managed to respond to the incident and arrest Ringtone and his goons. Otherwise, if they decided to take matters into their own hands, I'm sure it would have ended up ugly. So the other thing is to ensure you always have proper documentation, which the guy had. And then this documentation needs to be stored properly. And you also have to carry out frequent checks with the lands people, Ministry of Lands people, or if it's raw land, you carry out checks with the land registry just to make sure that nobody tampers with your property. And on that note, if you're interested in property matters, as in learning how to acquire property and what steps to take when conducting your due diligence, I'm going to link at the bottom a YouTube channel called Goshen Acquisitions. The CEO of that company, which deals with the land, goes out of his way to educate people about land matters. So if you're curious, or if you don't know every step that is required to legally acquire property, I'm going to link the the YouTube channel down, so you can get to do the research yourself. As for Ringtone, it's very ironic that he projects this holier-than-thou attitude when he's criticizing fellow musicians that happened to be gospel musicians transitioning to secular music, yet he's being implicated in this criminal activity of grabbing property. So, given that he has a huge following, if he wants to seriously have a reliable source of income, he can just continue releasing music, because he actually produced, he dropped a song actually 2 or 3 days after this issue of being evicted from the current property started trending. So he can just put more effort on releasing more music, book paid performances and tours. He can start merchandising And because he's a musician, he should also consider giving music lessons. That would be a way to supplement his income. And then he also should approach companies for brand endorsement, because he has a sizable amount of followers on his social media platforms. So he can do that. And besides his YouTube channel for his music, he can also become a content creator on the side. Given that he's popular, I'm sure he's not going to have a problem having followers. Yeah, and then start things like Patreon and what have you. So he doesn't have to become a part of this land grabbing cartel, because I know most of property owners, especially in these upmarket neighborhoods, have licensed firearms. So if he carries on the way he's been reckless, he's going to come across a wrong property owner who's going to finish him. So he should just know that if his life is precious, he needs to avoid provoking people by all means, because property and money and what have you, as in riches, could be a reason for someone to end your life. That is, if they value material things more than life. So that's a cautionary tale to Ringtone. And like I said, if you're interested in property matters, please check the news article that I'm going to link below, and the YouTube channel, which belongs to Goshen Acquisitions. And then we should stop buying hype from these celebs who keep showing us their riches on social media, because Ringtone Apoko is known for showing off Range Rovers, watches, and designer clothes. And it turns out he's a property grabber. So, and yeah, I know it is allegations, but I know most likely he's guilty of what he's being accused of. So guys, be careful. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.